Hello friends, welcome. Friends, whoever is watching this video might have seen this sheet. This sheet I have been using for a long period of time for Vodafone Idea. Now friends, using this sheet today, I am going to do an important calculation or analysis. And why this is important? Because when Vodafone Idea converted 16,000 crores of their interest, which was supposed to be paid to DOT, into equity, GUI got a stake of 32.09%, which later got reduced to 22.6%. And then the VI converted 36,950 crores and raised the stake for GUI to 49%. We know all these things. Now, in this video, we are going to discuss or analyze from where these numbers came, 16,000 crores and 36,950. That is the whole purpose of this video. Now, friends, this is pretty confusing. Now, if you ask anybody in the public domain or even the analyst community, everybody has their own theory for these numbers. Means how the principles which are reflected in their annual report, everybody will come out with their own theory and calculation. Today, I am going to give you my theory. And I will like my viewers to tell me whether I have done something wrong and whether this is completely inaccurate. And that's the whole purpose of this video, friends. So if you look at my slide deck, which I have created for this video, the title of this slide deck is VI duty equity conversion, what happened and why it matters. So we are going to talk about both the 16,000 crores of moratorium interest and 36,950 crores of additional principal converted into equity in FY25, right? How principal outstanding moved from FY21 to FY25, impact on the yearly installment cash flow for future payment schedule. So friends, we know that the starting point was FY21, 31st March 2021. These were the principles which we can extract from VI's annual report because they have disclosed these things in their annual report. How do I know that? I went to the annual report and I listed those in this column. Pause the video and have a look. All these items and this column and the number of installments also listed out in their annual report. So after having seen the FY21, which was up to 31st March 2021, we know that what was the reference principle before the moratorium was announced. Because at that point of time, no moratorium conversion actually happened, right? Then, revival package was announced when 15th of September 2021. The language of the revival package was pretty confusing. And that is the confusion which everybody got into. And I'll show you why the confusion came, from where the confusion came. Now, this was the PIB release on 15th of September 2021. In the PIB release, what has happened is, PIB talks about that moratorium is given, no confusion about that. And then it also talks about an option for the TSP to pay interest amount arising due to the said deferment on pay way of equity. Now, what is this deferment? Because deferment is already there in the moratorium, or it is the full 4 years, or it is something less, right? That is what we are going to investigate. For that, friends, I got this cue from this document. Now, this document was also pretty confusing. This is the Ministry of Department of Economic Affairs who came out with this document on 31st October 2021. Now, in this document, friends, if you look at this bullet, you will be totally confused. It says that TSP shall be given the option to convert the interest amount arising out of protection of NPV on account of the deferred spectrum and AGR dues pertaining to the moratorium period. Note this, into a loan issued to President of India. So everybody will think the full moratorium period interest is converted into equity, right? So that is the perception you will get. But if you go down below and read this line, it says details of interest amount will be furnished by TSP, thereafter certified by DOT. The NPV of interest amount will be calculated by DOT on the date of exercise of option by TSP. Now, what does date of exercise of option by TSP means? To me, it means that the day when the DOT was issued share by VI, which date? It was 7th February 2023. That is my interpretation. Right, friends? Now, based on these two assumptions, let's do the calculation and figure out what actually happened. from how that 16,000 crore number case. So here, what we will do is we will basically look into those moratoriums periods, which is falling between the window period, from 15 September and up to how much? This day when DOT was issued the share. Because this is important. Because when DOT was issued the share on 7th February 2023, DOT can say that, look, I got what I needed, right? I was issued the share. So anything which was not paid between 15th of September 2021 and 7th February 2023 means you are supposed to pay moratorium, you did not pay. So that interest part was converted and that number is 16,000 crores. How do I know that? Because I have done the calculation myself. Let me show you this. So what I've done is I have listed out all the dates here which fell between 15th of September 2023 and 7th February 2023 here. All these dates. Because this is the first installment date, this is the second installment date. Now you'll notice that the first installment date, all the line items which were under deferred payment were part of it. But in the second installment date, not all line item, because some fell after this date of 7th February 2023, therefore not included. So what I did was I calculated the interest based using this principal component. And how do I know this interest? It's very simple, because I know the principal outstanding when in FY21 and FY22, which is there from the annual report. And this FY21 and FY22 principal outstanding is simple multiplied by the interest rates. 1 plus 0.975 is you can yourself check here. It's simple multiplication. That's why if you see the weighted average interest is coming out to be 9.1%. So because I know the principal outstanding, I can calculate this interest. And if you add all these interests, you will see that it comes out to be roughly around 16,000 crores. Now, this is not exactly 6,000 crores because we really don't know when the conversion took place, what method they actually adopted. And I am also not too sure then when was the EMI due, because I have taken everything on 31st March 31st March, end of this month, whenever the EMI was due, because in the annual report, only month was mentioned, date was not mentioned, right? So this is which is why this 16,000 crore calculation came up. Now, what exactly was converted into principal? This is what exactly I described to you. For each tranches, find the moratorium skipped within the due dates, right? If skip date was within or on or before 7th February 2023, interest was carried out to the date and converted into equity, which I described here. Amounts after 7th February 2023 were not part of the first conversion. Do you understand now what assumption that I have made, right? Now, friends, why FY22 looked inflated means if the conversion is happening, why FY22 principles in the part of the annual report, if you see here, this number did not reflect any conversion because there was no conversion which took place, because this number and this number was simply a escalation of the principal by the interest rates, which you can yourself calculate and find out. So it's very simple. FY22 of FY21 plus 1 period of interest plus day count of nuance. Equity not issued in FY22, so nothing netted out in that column. Do you understand now? Now, what changed in FY23? Equity was issued in 7th February 2023, late in FY23. Conceptually, the net nominal carried forward interest for the past due moratorium item against the accrued balance. The result was the revised FY23 principal outstanding seen in the annual report with minor remeasurement. So what does it mean? Let's look at this. Now, if you look at the FY22 values here, which is just a amplified value of this number FY21 by the interest rate, FY23 numbers are lower. And how do I calculate what is this number actually, how it gets translated to this number on FY23? This I can do it very easily because what I know is this amount, this interest amount. So what I can do is I can actually calculate or I can extrapolate the FY23 principal, assuming that there is no conversion test taken place, because this will be the conversion as if that happened in FY22. If there were no conversion, nothing happened, right? The interest kept carried along, no equity was issued to DOT. So then this value, FY23 principal without equity conversion column, would be normal inflated number. So, but what I know the interest which which was actually payable to DOT, right? Now, this interest which was payable to DOT, if I net out from the FY23 column, I get the new principal column, which is the new principal column here, where the numbers are lower than what was in FY22. You see that FY22 was 1300 and this number that I am getting is 1184. So this number is a lower number compared to what the number which ideally I should have got if no equity conversion took place, right? So the principal actually got lowered because of the interest conversion here. So the full moratorium interest did not get converted only till the day when the equity was given. Ideally, DOT could have said that let me convert everything. If they have converted everything, the number would have gone to 49%. So DOT did not convert for the full moratorium period. They did it till this day, 7th February 2023. Do you understand now? And that's why the principal that you saw in FY23, which I've calculated, though it does not match exactly, and the difference is it's in this column and the percentage error is also in this column, is a lower number than what it should be if normal, a PV present value would have calculated using the interest rates, right? Now, DOT could have, prevented this conversion. Why DOT, wanted this conversion? I do not understand. If DOT did not want to convert the full period of 4 years and only let 16,000 crores converted and got their shares issued on 7th February, I do not understand. There was no need to do this conversion. Let the principal got amplified by this number. That could have also been done, right? So why there was a need for this conversion? I do not know the answer to this. Maybe if there was no conversion which took place, maybe whatever it outstanding was outstanding on FY24 would have been higher. That's all would have happened, right or not? So that, why do I know that? Because if you look at the FY23 number and then FY24 number, you will see that this number actually got escalated similar to what you saw in FY21 to in FY22 by the interest rates. You do the calculation, you can find out. Which means that whatever Vodafone Idea is showing in their annual statement, if there is no conversion which has happened to DOT, that is a simple escalation of the principal by the interest rates. So FY24 and FY23 is similar to what you saw in FY21 to FY22. Now FY25, the numbers again change. Why did the number change? Because there was another conversion which took place in something around 8th April 2025, and Vodafone Idea took that into account in their last annual statement, which is FY25, 31st March 2025. So those principles, if you see here, is different from the principal here, because this number was, if you add everything, it comes out to be 185315, the total debt under moratorium. Now it got reduced by 173234. Now friends, people say, okay, the principal got converted because it was written there very clearly in the PIV release. You'll see that in the PIV release, it was clearly written that at the option of the government to convert the dues amount pertaining to the said deferred payment by of equity at the end of the moratorium deferred period guidelines will be finalized by the Ministry of Finance. So they did it. So they converted. And how do I calculate this number of 36,950? How do I calculate? Again, I tried to do the calculation here. And what I did was DOT second conversion. So what I did was the FY25 outstanding without conversion, right? So this is without conversion. And what is this number? This is again the same number multiplied by the amplified by the interest rate. So the number that you see here, FY24, this is the number. So I just amplified this number and I put it here by the interest rate, just I did for between FY23 and FY24. Now I know that from the annual report, what Vodafone Idea reported in FY25, because I know the annual report. So I have checked from this. So I got the numbers here from the annual report. Now I can subtract these numbers, right, from the number which normally should have happened if there was no conversion. So that number is here, right? So when I subtract it and I add everything, it comes out to be roughly around 33,000 crore, which is approximately close to the number of 36,000 crore or 37,000 crore. So there is a difference of 4,000 crore, which I don't know why. You got it now? So that probably looks like the way the principal got converted, and that's why the FY25 numbers, the outstanding principal numbers, actually got reduced from what was in FY24 if the FY24 numbers got escalated by the interest component, interest rates, to a normal value without any conversion. So from that number, the FY25 number actually got reduced, right? Now, friends, one confusion I still have here. Even if the conversion numbers got reduced and the equity conversion got delayed, just after the date of installment of moratorium, you see that these were the payment date for installment after the end of the moratorium. Now, why did, after the conversion, as per the annual report, why these dates got changed? Means what was in March 2026 supposed to be paid, why this is now March 2028? Similarly, April 2026, why it is now April 27? Because the principal outstandings are seen here clearly in FY25. Now, if you have to pay an installment, which is, forward by another 2 years, you were supposed to be paid in March 2026 as per the initial moratorium. Now you have to pay in March 2020. You look at the annual report, you will yourself be able to get. Then the calculation of EMI will change. Why it will change? Now it is almost like you are having a moratorium within that period, right? This is the principal, and there is a moratorium here because the payment date have now shifted by another 2 years. So this calculation change based on the formula which I have shown in this article. So in this article, if you go here, you'll see deferred payment calculation, and if you see here deferred payment D, year of interest, rate of interest Y, moratorium period Y, because now there's 2 years can be considered as moratorium period, and then I have calculated and shown how the yearly installment can be calculated here, where you have to add this Y, which is the deferred period, which is how the spectrum yearly installment is calculated. So therefore, this value is now going to change if there were no deferred period. Still, the number of installment remain the same, but looks like that DOT has given Vodafone Idea some additional benefit, because I do not know, because I saw it from their annual report. These values, these dates are coming from VI's annual report. And that's why, friend, I said that I wanted to do this analysis, deep dive, to understand both the 16,000 crores and this number and these dates, why these dates got changed in their annual report. So there is probably another, you can say, benefit that Vodafone Idea have got, because even if the principals got converted, there was nothing in the initial PIB release, which is the date at which the initial package was announced, that they will give further moratorium, because they have given further moratorium in these 3 line items, which are the biggest line item, you see. And even the Spectrum Auction 2026 also actually got extended by another year, because it's supposed to be paid on October 25. Got it, friends? That is the reason, friends, I did this video, to make things clear. Some people might find it confusing. I can't help it, because this issue is actually confusing. What can I do? So maybe you have to go through this video again and again to figure out whether I am making any sense or not, or I have made some serious error. I am actually taking you through the slide deck. Somebody can pause the video and look at these slide decks, which I don't have time to explain. Okay, friends, so that's all, friends, in this video. I hope that you found this video useful. This video may not be 100% accurate, friends. I don't claim that. It is my theory. based on the public information that I have, the best of my understanding about this subject. Because ultimately, friends, when people talk about accounting, I don't believe in accounting numbers. Accounting is separate and cash is separate. If the principal outstanding is shown in this column, and in the basis of which you are making the DCF calculation based on what the formula I has shown you, and the Vodafone idea is to shell out cash, I do not believe in accounting. Somebody say it is lease and I don't want to get into that debate at all. I am only interested here is what is the principal outstanding here, because on the basis of which hard cash has to be spelled out by Vodafone Idea on these dates which are mentioned in their annual report. You understand why I do not want to get digressed into various kinds of nuances? And that is why, friends, whenever people discuss with me, I said, I don't want this principal outstanding. Tell me what this principal outstanding is, what is the rate of interest, and when the installment has to be paid. That's all I need, because on the basis of that, I will calculate what the yearly installment numbers are. Okay, friends, I think I have done enough, friends, in this video. This took me a lot of effort to go into these details, and therefore I did not do this video in Hindi. Otherwise, people would get terribly confused. So I will try first version with English, and then maybe I'll record an Hindi version for this video also. Thank you, friends, for your time. Thanks for listening till the end. I'll come back with a new video and a new topic next time.